It would be massive progress if you were to beat Arsenal. What would that do for the team, for the players, and what sort of signal would it send out, do you think, maybe to the rest of the Premier League if you were able to beat Arsenal, who are absolutely on fire at the moment?
Yeah, so first, that's what I would say is Arsenal, Mikel Arteta has done an absolutely amazing job. I think he's the most underrated manager in the league. With a young team, he's built this up to be really complex, stable, I think exciting to watch. I think he's done an amazing job, and it's taken him time. He took a lot of heat in the beginning, but I think now you see the fruits of his labor and the fruits of their labor. Obviously, for us, it can be a big boost for us to have a big result against an opponent like this. We are confident. We are confident that at Elland Road we can play the way we want. We believe that Arsenal is very good, and we have to be very calculated with what our match plan is. But we want to be aggressive at the right moments. We still want to try to play our football. We want to challenge them in certain ways. And we know we have to be at our best to have a chance against such an opponent. What it sends in terms of a message to everyone else is less important than what it means to us internally. And I see the work that goes on here every day. My belief in this group is as strong as it's ever been. I think the first half against Palace is the best that we've played since I've been here. So, I mean, you have to think of that as a positive, but it winds up walking away empty because we don't get the result. So, and we don't turn it into a 90-minute performance. So, we're growing and we're moving forward, but slower than all of us would like. That's for sure.
Hi, Jesse. Where do you see the main threat coming from Arsenal?
I mean, I think the combination with Arsenal of the way they play and their clarity as to their roles, along with the individual quality that they have, makes them very difficult to deal with. And I think that's what the job of a manager is to take good players and make them better by introducing them into a system that feeds into their strengths. So if you want to, obviously the front three with Martinelli, Jesus, and Saka are incredibly dangerous and clever 1v1. They're all three at the top of the league in 1v1 take-ons, 1v1 success. They're obviously scoring goals and getting assists in bunches. But then, the moment that you place a little too much attention on any one of them, then Xhaka starts joining in and Odegaard and they have quality coming from all over the place. So for us, it will take a full tactical understanding and commitment on the day, as well as individual performances in certain moments to manage what they will present. And that's been the talking point, is being very clear with what our tactics are for this match, and then finding the players that can execute at the highest level and have good discipline, but also play with confidence in the moments that we need quality in order to tilt the scale in our favor, which will be a monumental task.
They're a young team, as you say, but at top of the league, it's early in the season. Do you see them as genuine title contenders?
You'd have to say yes. I mean, they've looked very strong, and they've recently played against good opponents as well. So, I mean, I always do a thorough job of scouting with our team. It's not like I'm following every team through the season. You look at the table and you see that they're winning games. You catch moments of games and highlights, and we know that they're a good team and they have good quality, and I think that I always like also when teams and coaches improve and grow together, and that's definitely something that's happened at Arsenal. A team that looked like a club that looked like they weren't going to be so strong about 5-6 years ago, now all of a sudden to be back at the top of the table and playing the football that they're playing says a lot about the commitment that they've made as a club to find a process and stick to it.
Have you grown since you arrived here in February?
Yeah. The league tests you as a manager, I think, in every way. Every match is a little different. Assessing what we have, what we want to become, creating stepping stones for our players individually and as a group, how to get better and how to continue our process and get to where we want to be, trying to accelerate that as much as possible. That's the focus. Then learning and seeing what's happening around the league and learning from opponents, learning how to play against opponents, learning what can be successful, learning what's not so successful, how to create work weeks that are clear and organized and concise, so that the players can understand exactly what we're trying to do and commit to it on a daily basis. This is what it is, right? And I said last year when I came during the relegation fight, I had to use all my experiences in my life to help us find a way to manage the moment, and that's still where I'm at. The challenge of this league is at the highest level, and I love it. And I'm just trying to do everything I can to help the group every day.
How difficult is it to get consistency in this league, and particularly this season when it's got breaks that it's got?
Yeah, that's probably true. But those are excuses, I think. My job, I think, as a manager, is to always try to maximize potential at any given moment, regardless of the scenario, and find ways to use either more time or less time in whatever way necessary to prepare ourselves to get better and better. So, for example, I hadn't had any time to do man down tactics, and we did it more than when we had time, and it helped us in the match when we went down against Villa. And so that winds up being a bonus for us. And so just always trying to use time in ways to make us better. That's the job. That's partly innovation at times, because you're always presented with new situations, and it's creativity, but it's also discipline to understand and experience to understand exactly what's necessary at every moment.
We know Luis is clearly a very, very important player. It's not hard to look at the team and consider that it's probably going to be down to Rodrigo or Bamford to make way for Luis. Rodrigo starts the season brilliantly. I think we can see Patrick maybe as the long-term aim, as having him leading the attack. How hard is that going to be for you to make that call?
Well, I think I think we have a little bit of an attacking core now that's emerging as all potential threats in the way we want to play. So yeah, I mean, we started with Rodrigo and Patrick against Palace, and I think there's a lot of games where we can do that, and Rodrigo's flexibility, I think, gives us that freedom. And then you have Luis, Jack, Brendan, who I think have all had good seasons and are important to the team. I think Cree Somerville is also emerging more and more into that group. And at some point, I'm going to have to say to myself, I've got to let Cree go more. I've got to find more minutes for him. I've got to let him show how good he is. And he's making progress every day. And then, yeah, I mean, I'll have to make decisions based on match plans and opponents and what's necessary in the season and in each match for what we need. And then to challenge those other guys to be ready off the bench. And you could throw Clicky in there, because I think he's been ready at times. I think Joffy's been pushing, whether it's with the 21s or with the first team, to try to get more minutes. So there's a lot to manage with that attacking crew right now, and I'm just trying to make decisions based on exactly what we need for each match so that I can help the team as much as possible.
And you alluded earlier to the outside pressure that's been on Mikel Arteta over the course of his Arsenal career. How much do you hope a successful season for Arsenal might be a message to other chairmen and chief executives as to the value of patience when managers like yourself are trying to build some?
I think that the support that I have internally in this club is better than anywhere I've ever been in my life. Now, I know that when you lose, that questions arise. That's normal from you guys, from everyone, from fans, and I accept that. And it's my responsibility to make sure we lose as little as possible. And my goal is to never lose. So that's the job. I'm not afraid of that. I accept that responsibility. I take it straight on, and I'm here to do the job. And I believe that I'm the man to do the job. But I'm doing it with my staff, with my team, with the leaders in this club, with my ownership. We're together, right? And I feel incredibly supported, and it empowers me to do the job I think is necessary to help us win.
With Patrick, did you anticipate it might be this sort of season for him? Stop-start. Did you think at this point he would be in full flow rather than where he is at the moment?
Well, we talked as a medical team that to expect Patrick to be, after coming back from such a long, basically he almost missed the entire season. And I even spoke with Patrick at one point to say, we have to manage you, right? We have to just every week be careful. And even when we're making progress, we have to understand how to slow it down at the right moments, because it's normal that after such a long time out, that it's not necessarily the planner that bothers him. It's other injuries because his body's not used to performing at the level he needs to perform at every week. So how have we done on that? Probably not as good as I would have hoped, but I think we're still okay. I think he's fit and healthy right now. For example, today he was given a down day. He didn't train today. And we just gave him a regen day. And we've developed a sort of rhythm with him to make sure that we're providing him physically with what he needs to continue to build. Football-wise, enough in training so that he's clear on his role and is getting better and sharper and more dangerous and cleaner. And then we have to just continue to progress that way.